Hi everyone, welcome back to Yorkshire Dales. Up on the hills, the wind was relentless, but it softened as I slowly descended into the quiet village below. The valley you can see ahead is Swindale, in the northern part of the Yorkshire Dales. Today, we're heading toward Thwaite, a tiny and remote village with only around 35 permanent residents. It's a truly unique place. Farming has shaped life here for centuries, and you can see it everywhere, especially in the iconic stone barns scattered across the hillsides. The farther I walked, the quieter everything became. And honestly, I wasn't expecting that little bird. Even before reaching the village, the scenery already felt incredibly peaceful. Rolling hills, old stone walls, distant sheep, and nothing but nature in every direction. Entering the village. Traditional stone cottages line the narrow lanes here, each one full of character and history. Most cottages have slate roofs and small, sturdy windows designed to survive the harsh northern winters. The Yorkshire Dales has a very distinctive style of architecture. Simple, practical, and timeless. The scenery here offers endless opportunities for capturing nature. It's the kind of place that naturally slows you down. Every corner of the village offers something worth noticing. Nature is always close by here, just beyond every bend in the lane. Stone barns and isolated farmhouses dot the surrounding landscape, blending perfectly into the hills. The air felt so fresh and clean, completely different from city life. A small river flows quietly beside the village, adding even more calm to the atmosphere. The sound of flowing water follows you almost everywhere here. The architecture reflects centuries of rural craftsmanship. And remarkably, the layout of the village has remained largely unchanged over time. Walking here really feels like stepping into another era. Subscribe section. Enjoying the walk so far? Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. It really helps support the channel. Thanks so much. The spring and birds. Lovely little cottage here. It stood near a spring, and the number of birds singing around the village was honestly incredible. You'll hear more of them throughout the walk. This lush part of the village, right beside the river, felt especially unique to me. Everything here feels so green and alive. Dry stone walls stretch across the surrounding fields, shaping the landscape of the Yorkshire Dales. What's amazing is that these walls were built entirely by hand, without mortar. And many of them have stood here for hundreds of years. A soft mist covered the distant hills, while gentle rain drifted through the village from time to time. The weather changed constantly. One moment sunshine, the next moment, mist and rain. But honestly, it made the place feel even more atmospheric. Out here, the sounds are simple. Birds singing, sheep calling in the distance, and the wind moving softly through the valley. Bench viewpoint. I found this lovely bench overlooking the countryside. Honestly, it would be very easy to spend hours sitting here, just relaxing and taking in the view. Walking through Thwaite felt a little like stepping back in time. Would you stay in a place like this? And yes, surprisingly, I actually had phone signal here, if that matters. What makes the village even more interesting is just how isolated it really is. There's no shop, no school, no church, and no community hall. Just a tea room and a small B&amp. B, which you'll see later in the walk. Village Center. Here's the village notice board. The tea room was closed during my visit, and the B&amp Basti B was completely quiet too. Not a single visitor in sight. A few hikers were waiting nearby for the local bus. It only operates a few times each day, and the timetable changes depending on the season. And of course, completely English, with the classic red phone box. And right beside it, the village post box. Little details like this give the village so much charm. Talking with a local. While exploring the village, I met one of the local
residents She was incredibly friendly. I asked where people go for basic shopping and everyday supplies. She explained that the nearest store is in Hawes, around 7 miles away by car. She told me she absolutely loves living here, but during winter, the isolation can become difficult. At times, the village feels almost cut off from the rest of the world. And honestly, standing here surrounded by hills in every direction, I could completely understand what she meant. Surrounding villages behind those hills lies another isolated but beautiful village called Keld. And over to the right is Muka, also very remote and incredibly scenic. I've actually done walks in both villages already, and they're on my channel if you'd like to explore more of this area. Most people living here work in farming, tourism, or small local businesses. And beyond these hills, on the other side of the valley, is Hawes. Maybe that should be my next destination. What do you think? Suggest my next walk in the comments below. Closing parenthesis. Footpath and holiday cottages. This footpath here leads through the valley toward the neighboring villages. You can walk for miles out here without seeing many people at all. There are also a few holiday cottages in Thwaite where visitors can stay overnight if booked in advance. You rarely find cottages like these in other parts of England. They're very typical of the north, especially here in the Yorkshire Dales. This here is the backyard of the B&B. And just to the right is another holiday cottage. The entire village feels peaceful, quiet, and untouched by modern life. Leaving Thwaite now, we're slowly leaving the village behind. You can still see Thwaite resting quietly on the hillside to the left. And this point marks the beginning of the legendary Old Corpse Way. A historic trail once used to carry the dead from these remote villages to the nearest consecrated burial ground at St. Andrew's Church in Grinton. The journey could stretch anywhere from 12 to 16 miles across difficult terrain. It's incredible to imagine people walking these remote paths centuries ago under all kinds of weather conditions. I actually did another walk there too. I'll leave links to all the villages I mentioned in the description below. Outro for now. Enjoy these final peaceful shots of the Yorkshire Dales. The misty hills, the stone cottages, the quiet river, and the endless countryside stretching into the distance. Places like this remind you how beautiful silence can be. And how peaceful simple village life still is in some parts of England. If you enjoyed the walk, don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next walk.